There are coincidences, and then there are things that clearly can't be a coincidence. I think we all acknowledge when Kobe Bryant came into the NBA, he mimicked Michael Jordan. His game looked like Michael. He sounded like Michael Jordan for about the first 8 years. Kobe was Michael Light. Now, I don't blame Kobe. When you watch a young star and you pattern your game after him, you can look like that. I'll give you an example. I'll bring this close to home. When I was a young broadcaster in my 20s, it wasn't until like I was 32, 33 where I found my style. I was like 10% Letterman, 10% Bob Costas, 10% the I-Man, Don Imus, 5% Stern. I didn't know what I was, right? Like I was trying to figure out exactly what I was and what my style was. And, you know, other guys, Joe Buck, since he was probably 8, had a style, and it was his. It didn't work that way with me. My dad wasn't a broadcaster. I wasn't around broadcast booths. It took me years and years to kind of figure out my style instead of nibbling pieces from everywhere else. And it's funny about, like, Kobe came into the league and he was trying to find Kobe while he was doing a really amazing imitation of Michael Jordan. And then Kobe's last 8, 9, 10 years in the league, Kobe was Kobe. More dramatic than Michael, took tougher shots than Michael, developed his own style. He was much more fashionable, a little less corporate than Michael was. He really became his own guy, but it takes a while. Kevin Durant has a lot of similarities to LeBron, and here's where LeBron's a pretty fascinating dude. You know, LeBron James walked into this league, and let's go back to LeBron's childhood. Not ideal. You know, he moved around a lot of chaos, but yet LeBron had a very strong sense of self very early. And he's still to this day, I'm going to find the best basketball shot. From the very first day in the league, LeBron's like, no, we will take the best shot. I don't have to take it. And a lot of you critics out there, Michael would have taken the shot and Kobe would have taken the shot, and LeBron's like, that's not my game. It's pretty remarkable that LeBron was 20 years old in this league and already knew himself, was mature enough to like, this is who I am, this is what I'm now. And by the way, he's tweaked stuff, but he's never copied as he's tweaked. I mean, he started shooting three-pointers. We never had a 6'9" forward guard that did. I mean, LeBron was just an evolver. Like, here's who I am. I'm comfortable with it. I'm going to get better. I never felt LeBron was like copying anybody. He was getting better. Kevin Durant feels very much like Kobe early in his career doing the Michael thing. Just think about this. So Kevin Durant signs with the Nets. He's first or second best player in the league, doesn't hold a press conference. And he's always been great at press conferences. He's very vulnerable. He's very raw. We've seen him cry. He's a great press conference guy. He doesn't hold a press conference. Well, LeBron didn't hold a press conference in Los Angeles. Now, you think I'm just throwing that out there. But this is the difference with LeBron and KD and why LeBron's going to go down historically better. It's not just the wins. LeBron has a sense of self. Kevin Durant's always been a little bit of a seeker and a wanderer. Think of how similar their careers are. Some of it is just happenstance. Both come into the NBA highly touted and are exceptional early. They work out together. And they both leave their first team, and it shocks the world. Durant goes to the rival. LeBron goes to Miami, holds a press conference. They both join other stars and win 2 titles, get 2 MVPs, and they both become the villain of the league when they do it, and they don't like it. Then, after they lose a final to Kawhi and Leonard, they both bail. And they both join a team, LeBron Lakers, Kevin Durant Brooklyn, where basketball is important, but business clearly has an influence. These were not the best teams they could have joined. Both will not hold a press conference because they're now above the press conference thing, even though both are great at press conferences. And I think the first year for both, this is just happenstance, will be defined by an injury. Kevin Durant can't play in Brooklyn first year. LeBron played, got hurt, his first major injury. But there are parts of it that feel very much like Kobe Jordan or me and Bob Costas that I'm kind of trying to find my place. LeBron has a show called The Shop with his business manager. And then KD creates a show called The Boardroom, which is the shop without haircuts, and Rich Kleiman, his business partners on the show. This is the difference between LeBron and KD, is that I do believe LeBron has had a huge influence on Kevin Durant's game, brand, and decisions. I feel that Michael had a huge influence on Kobe's name, brand, game, and decisions. The remarkable thing about LeBron James, he loved Jordan, but he never connected with Kobe. He had never had any interest in that because he didn't have Kobe's game. And he grew up liking Michael, but didn't worship him and wouldn't mimic his game. In fact, he often said, I'm not MJ. I'm not going to take the final shot. That's not what I do. In that, I don't blame Durant for this. But we know now Durant's a little bit of a wanderer, a little bit of a seeker. But here's the difference. Here's the real big difference. LeBron would not have left the Warriors. No way in hell. Because whereas LeBron left teams, Cleveland, Miami, and Cleveland, that appeared to be getting older and worse, Kevin Durant left two really good basketball teams that are young and had years left to win championships. OKC, Westbrook and Harden were both just coming into their prime. No way LeBron leaves the Warriors. Now, LeBron's got too great a sense of himself and too great a sense of history in the league. You think LeBron would bail on Steph and Clay and Draymond and Kurt? There's no way. And I do think fundamentally this is the difference between LeBron and KD. LeBron's got a much greater sense of self. KD tends to be a little bit of a wanderer, not quite sure what makes him tick. He said this before. This is not me reaching. He said this before. You know, he's trying to find himself. I want to hoop. That's all I want to do. But then it's not all he wants to do because he's incredibly active on social media. And if he wants to hoop, that's exactly what he could do in San Francisco, was just hoop and hide because Steph's the star of the team, right? It's interesting, though. No press conference for either. Like LeBron did that, and I was like, that's weird. That's the first time I've ever seen it in the NBA where a star goes to a team and he just, like, hides. He didn't show up until the photo shoot. Like, where's LeBron? Kevin Durant signs. He's not talking. He's hidden. I think some of it's coincidence. Some of it is LeBron has great influence on KD, whether KD wants to admit it or not.